Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This is part 2 of the final destruction of the world. I am mad at people, but I'm not making this video just to offend people or something. But this is what has to be said because of what's happening. This is the message from God. So we left off, I'll go ahead and read the last sentence from the last video. All the major cities in Europe, America, and Israel were full of people whose souls were rotting. Not a single person was exempt. There would be no cure. Their offspring would be cut off. All hope was truly gone. They desperately killed people trying to make themselves feel better, as even their small towns were full of complete wastes of life. Their souls rotted. They were refuse, dung, and burned crap on the ground. Now, this is not just America and Israel and Europe, it's the whole world because of their rebellion. Their laughable children looked like geeks on the way to be hooked to a machine and weird MAGA-like brutes. They resort to all kinds of pathetic and petty activities as they were desperate. They desperately flailed in vain trying to feel better, covertly editing my videos. So when they were doing the things that they were doing to persecute me, right, fume me and poison me, it's like they're desperately flailing in vain while they're being handed their fate. 189,000 people die every day. That includes 4,700 rich people and their family members. So they're not really doing something compared to what God and I are doing. We are in charge. I trampled them thoroughly, even challenged them to meet me at the gate while they fumed and poisoned me in vain. They sent sick homosexuals to use various technologies to sexually harass me, and their families in the spiritual realm twitched like bitches, unable to bear the extreme punishment of those who are closely related to those who directly assault the flesh of God's Son. I am the greatest warrior ever, and even if they killed everyone on the planet, it would be nothing compared to how much their family in the spiritual realm suffer right now, and they were making it worse. Wig-wearing cowards and the like, short, feeble Jewish nerds, tall, weird Englishmen, far too afraid to be a man and mitigate for their families and their offsprings. They were resorting to saying immature things like he does not know that is true. The vast majority of people know that I know it is true. The vast majority of people on the planet, if they were to see the top martial artists ever possible describing these things, would know that I know that it is true. Now, when I describe the Jewish people who are doing this, in particular Jewish people, and the particular English people, it's because they're the main people leading the charge, right? They're weirdos like that Rick Moranis and Spaceballs. Okay, they're crazy Prince Humperdinck types, these tall, arrogant Englishmen. I'm not being racist, I'm describing the very types I perceive to be leading the charge against me, and certainly rich whites, rich Jews, and rich LGBT people, according to their deeds, are the main people leading the charge against God and I. Rushing the gates of heaven, so to speak, while not following their own scripture, mind you. Though they see themselves as following the script or something. I'm the smartest person that ever lived, and I have maintained God's existence, Him favoring me, and God's vengeance as supreme my whole life. I've maintained those arguments, I've proven them to be true. Even an atheist knows that I won, and only an idiot would say otherwise. You simply cannot go against the most respectable person that ever lived in reality, right, and win. Can you hear their screams in the spiritual realm? God's wrath is far greater than mere whites, Jews, and LGBT people throwing fits. They are like a red-faced, effeminate George Washington on his deathbed, a complete waste of life. Again, I'm not talking about everyone in their race per se, but to whom it may apply. The legions of angels that cooked their spirits clearly did so with my spirit in them. God and I are one in spirit. God and I are one, and my spirit, which cannot be harmed, is God's spirit. God the Father above all trampled them thoroughly, and they were more pathetic than a Stephen Miller speech at best. There's no glory at all for the people of the world. All glory is with God, and I stand firm doing His work. I alone, while racist homosexuals try to interfere, but the kingdom of heaven is something that includes faith and loyalty, and standing firm doing God's work. The kingdom of heaven is faith and loyalty and power, not mere words by geeks with technology trying to inject themselves into the situation. They cause their families to cook more as God will not be mocked. You reap what you sow. Forever the spiritual realm will haunt them, saying, why didn't you at least compensate them and work around them? And look at the offspring and family of those who persecuted God's Son. Hail, fire, burning hot coals and burning sulfur, cooking them thoroughly. There is no mercy for the wicked. As people get tired and wake up full of energy again, one can see they cannot make my soul weaker by weakening my body. My soul is always strong. The petty things they did are not even worth mentioning. What value do females have now? What will become of their useless offspring? They are scum to be cooked by the best, and I am the best and by far. And again, this is not the same as just insulting women as a group. I'm asking these questions on a profound spiritual level. For the sake of the rules on YouTube, I'll say, whatever the answer is what the answer is. It's being asked as a question. But you all know what the answer is. And you all know that it is fair. You reap what you sow. If you're all rebelling against the Son of God, what is that? What worth do you have then? The heavens rejoice, the righteous yell proudly that God's right hand is lifted high, and God's main enemies are the most evil white people, the most evil Jews, and the most evil LGBT people. They are mere shallow groups of idiots. All these inferior forms of life surrounded me, and in the name of God, I cut them down and off. And the whole world is being cut off for not obeying God through me. Let them know every day that all who rebel against me suffer. I and the Father are one, and you are all not obeying me. Their failure, their childishness, jealousy, stupidity, shallowness, their sinful sexual immorality, including LGBT sexual immorality, their arrogance, their spiritual filthiness and cowardice precedes them. All human bodies are filthy, no shower is that good, but their souls are disgusting, and only useless sluts marry them. They have eyes but do not truly see, or they would obey me. Likewise, they have ears, but they are not truly hearing or understanding. The essence of what lightning shows, the morally precise, wise martial artists. The essence of what lightning shows, the morally precise, wise martial artist, strikes their souls and spirit as I, Christ, and the angels violently trample their souls, spirits, offspring souls, and spirits, and their future hopes. They are reduced to being childish, unnatural jackals, far too stupid and poorly bred to appreciate that they will surely cook in a far more painful way forever. Changing my shape covertly just overkills this, and is a very foolish move in the long term. The lightning warned them that God would blind them and put them into a dark and chaotic state. Nature warned them that things in various states change in certain ways over a long period of time for various reasons, and that these things have spirits, right? Animals, single-celled organisms, plants, right? They change in various ways over a long period of time for various reasons, and they have various spirits. In God's Spirit, I am trampling their souls and spirits and their offspring, as they will not be able to escape the fate that their forefathers and foremothers are making for them. The bits and pieces are rendered unusable as they are further scattered in the whirlwind and the windstorm. The sun setting and the dead going into the dirt and earth get buried by other layers and by the elements. These things show that rebels go down to the realm of the dead, all who refuse to walk in wisdom. They must walk in the way of righteousness along the paths of justice, which first and foremost is obeying God through me. Most people are capable of seeing that 189,000 or so people die every day. That is 1.89 million every 10 days, and that includes 47,000 rich people and or their immediate family members. This massacre goes far beyond World War II, as it is 2 to 4 times greater, or so every year. The cords of death are all around the rebels, even now as they are carried off by the torrents of destruction. Only I can save them, and they persecute me. I do not miss for a moment that I have the upper hand. Their threats are no more threatening than a bee landing on me. For a moment I might wonder what the hell they are talking about. Then I just scoff at them. God has installed me as his anointed. Their planet spirit is like a widow, as they are without God. They do not have the life of God's Spirit in them, so they live pathetic, childish, and useless lives. This means they are basically dead already. They unwittingly and otherwise mourn for themselves and their families, and they suffer a famine as they are without righteousness and the presence of God, which is the essence of righteousness and is righteousness. Never forget that the wickedness they have burns them like a fire, and their wickedness increased so much that figuratively and spiritually they are burned with scorching hot coals and burning sulfur to the very core. They are burned to the very core with these things. Their essence, their insides, who they are in reality, are burned to the very core with scorching hot coals and burning sulfur. They are in a beta state of chaos and desolation. God's sword cuts them to bits. His hammer smashes their worth to pieces. His arrows pierce them like lightning in an arrow. His divine martial art blows, assisted by my Ancient of Days African spirit, strike them harder than hailstones that are 100 pounds each. And the cloud burst is hard for them to understand, as the thunderstorm of the Lord terrifies what is left of their feeble brains and consciousness. Without worth they have lost. Without a cause, the effect is worse than walking in darkness chased by angry lions, but too afraid and too stupid to run. They are like nerds covered in blood, frantically swimming away from hungry sharks, only to slow down and to accept their defeat. There is nothing they can say, and the idea, not the written words, is something that they can never escape. I despise how this is written, and certain whites, gays, and Jews interfered with it. And they have their family cooking to the extreme, hating them, and they will join them soon enough as time flies by real fast. Few things are more stupid than being some kind of child molesting dog and hacking the brain of the most righteous. But life in the flesh is short, their torment is forever, and the smoke of their soul burning in a pit of guilt and failure will rise forever and ever, as will their screams. Psalm 25:2. My integrity and uprightness protect me, because my hope, Lord, is in you. Psalm 26:1. Vindicate me, Lord, for I have lived a blameless life. I have trusted in the Lord and have not faltered. Test me, Lord, and try me. Examine my heart and my mind. For I have always been mindful of your unfailing love, and have lived in reliance on your faithfulness. I do not sit with the deceitful, nor do I associate with hypocrites. I abhor the assembly of evildoers and refuse to sit with the wicked. I wash my hands in innocence and go about your altar, Lord, proclaiming aloud your praise and telling of all your wonderful deeds. Lord, I love the house where you live, the place where your glory dwells. Do not take away my soul along with the sinners, my life with those who are bloodthirsty, in whose hands are wicked schemes, whose right hands are full of bribes. I lead a blameless life. Deliver me and be merciful to me. My feet stand on level ground. In the great congregation I will praise the Lord.